Welcome to Fergus, Ontario. A town, I'm gonna go around you. A town designed for Scottish Presbyterians early in 19th century. This is a Beaty's factory, and this is where the Beaty family apparently lived. Well, I actually met a very interesting gentleman, Dean, who's a local. You see that goose? Who's a local, I'm gonna stand up, history enthusiast, and he told me a little bit about Beaty's company. Hello Dean, how are you doing?
Excellent. A little bit rough today, but this afternoon is turning out all right.
Awesome, it's a warm day. So you're telling me that this whole thing, from the street to the end, is Bey Brothers building?
Bey Brothers originally, it's foundry. It was called the foundry, and it was where they put all their wood products together, and a lot of steel products together as well. There was an office at the very end, which is a 3-story building, and this was all factory.
Right by the bridge.
Right by the bridge.
Uh-huh.
And from here, everything went up. This was the original location, but from here, everything went up to Hill Street West and Beaty Line, where the main factory is. They used to do appliances here as well, wash tubs, washing machines, anything that was mechanical, a lot of farm equipment, and it all was pumped out of this station and the factory up on Hill Street.
They're saying that in 1925, it was the largest farm equipment manufacturing in the British Empire.
That's exactly.
And they're
it.
Making over 600 different products.
It just went on and on and on.
Can you tell us about the swimming pool that I'm going to be riding by?
The swimming pool is an interesting combination. The Beaty Brothers built the swimming pool for their employees and their employees' families, and they heated it with the heat and generation station that is below the factory, the foundry factory.
So the heat, instead of letting it dissipate, they would just hit the water and heat the swimming pool.
That's right, and it was warm swimming water the whole time. It was great.
So, speaking of Beaty Brothers, the company, this is a Scottish Presbyterian town, designed as such.
It definitely is.
And
it was really strict.
George Beaty, well, Beatys were Irish Methodists. What is the deal with him buying up all the brothels and bars just to shut him down?
Well, I don't know about the just to shut him down part, but he was such a religious person in this community that if he did not see you in church on Sunday, he would come knock on your door on Monday morning and ask why you weren't on church.
So you
weren't in church.
You had to sign a waiver before you got hired.
It was
that you got to obey.
It was strict, very strict. He was the father of your family. In retrospect,
when you look at when you're trying to read about Fergus, you're saying that one of the first industries were distilleries. Did they shut them down, Beaty's?
Yeah, Beaty was a big proponent of
prohibition, maybe.
Prohibition, a dry town, dry community. Alora on the other side wasn't. So
for fun, you would go across.
All the drunks from Fergus that hid would jump on the train and amble their way somewhere into the bars of Alora, and then stumble home on Sunday night, ready for Monday morning to go to work.
Oh, that's great. All right, Dean. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
See you next time.
Yeah.
First settler to Fergus was a former slave caught in Senegal. He was enslaved for 20 years and later on fought against the Americans. Butler's Rangers in Nag region during the American Revolution, as well as the War of 1812. He came to this area after he sold 200 acres in St. Catharines, but he didn't have any children, and nobody knows. I don't know where his grave could be, what happened to him. Well, I know that he came here as the first one. He owned the land. This is Fergus Mill. Turn into condos. I'm looking for the land where Richard Pierpoint owned when he came to this area. This might not be it, or maybe it is. Yes, it is. Pierpoint Park. I'm going to cross all 3 bridges across the Grand River. Both ways. This may be the most Scottish town outside of Scotland. If it wasn't for the Tim Hortons, you wouldn't know it's in Canada. Guys, what do you think about Fergus here?
Welcome to Little Scotland.
Ah.
Are you from
Excuse me, what did you say the name of the river was?
Grand River.
What makes it so grand?
I don't know.
Hey, Tartan. United Church. Nice. Tower Street Bridge. In 1831, Scottish lawyer Adam Ferguson came to Canada to look around if it would be a good place to settle. And the next year, in 1832, I'm gonna go in. In 1832, he came back with his friend, James Webster. They decided to build a town here. A town for Scottish Presbyterian settlers. James stayed here when Adam Ferguson lived with his family in Waterdown, Ontario. The town was originally called Little Falls, for obvious reasons. Later renamed Fergus. When Ferguson and Weber came to this area, they bought about 7,300 acres of land to build a city. And it does look like Scotland, I'm sorry. They used local limestone and local lumber for the building. And of course on the hill there's St. Andrew's Church. And let's not forget, St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland. And St. Andrew's Cross is featured on the Scottish flag. There are over 200 buildings in the town that were built in the 19th century. And this is St. Andrew's Church. I'm gonna go around it. Fergus is built on the Grand River. And the hydropower. Big an industry here. Mills, tanneries and such. Distilleries as well. And as I was talking to Dean, distilleries are not a thing anymore. Probably because Bey Brothers shut them down. So this is the major Beaty's plant. Well, it used to be Beaty's. Bey Brothers. It's an interesting street. Six houses of Brook Avenue were built in 1935 by the Bey Brothers for sale to supervisory employees. On a non-profit basis, houses built of square stone are extremely rare in Canada, and this entire street of such houses is unique. George Beaty was born in 1845 in Albion, Ontario, to Irish immigrant family. He was a Methodist, became a machinist, moved to Fergus, and with his brother started a company, which by 1925 was the largest farm equipment manufacturer in the British Empire. Thank you. Grand River below. Every year, Scottish Festival and Highland Games take place in Fergus, and I'm 99% sure this is the venue. Oh yeah, the stands. Yeah, now I'm 100% sure this is it. My in-laws are from Scotland, and my wife used to come here every year for Highland Games. I always imagined it to be bigger. Old high school. Turned into church.